piece of hardware which is, I quite like these dedicated machines, and it's a word processor, and it's this little thing, and it's made by Tandy, and it was meant to kind of compete with the fully fledged word processors and the emerging kind of portables that were coming out from different manufacturers. And it's something that I've always quite liked, dedicated machines that do one job. So let's have a look. So here we have a Tandy portable word processor, a WP2. And at first glance it's not too dissimilar to the Amstrad NC version of one of these, or even the Clive Sinclair's Cambridge Computer Z88. It's very similar form factor, it's similar sized. The one thing this has got going for it, same as the Amstrad machine, is it has quite a nice keyboard, and you can actually see through to the base plate on this one, and it's not a membrane style keyboard with plastic keycaps. It is quite a mechanical keyboard, and it's quite nice. It's quite nice to use. The spacebar is full size, and it kind of fits adults' hands very, very well. But if I turn the machine over, okay, you'll get an idea of where they were coming from. Okay, down here you have a list of key presses such as cut, paste, move up, move down, top of page, etc. You have two small feet to give it a bit of an angle, okay. And you also have a keyboard shortcut layout, you know, caps lock, for the different functions on caps lock, the different positions on the keys, how to get to them, and basically just to help you quickly get used to the machine. There's also a battery compartment, and it takes AA batteries, and it lasts up to 20 hours, which is quite a good, decent amount of time. You've also got a backup battery, which is a penny type battery. Now the serial number is 46,836, so possibly not too long in its lifetime in their production run. And that's really about it on the machine itself, because all you have on the side is a protection switch for your memory, so for changing batteries and so on, and a brightness switch for the LCD. And on the other side you have a memory card expander. On the back they were generally wanting you to save your documents, because you got power in, you have a cassette port, printer port, and an RS232C serial port. Now the laptop doesn't weigh very much. It's all around roughly the same weight as the Z88 and roughly the same weight as the Amstrad NC100. Now turning it on, you just press the blue button and you can adjust the screen, and as you can, I'll tilt it up on its feet just to help you out a little bit so you can see it a bit clearer. You can see basically there's a little bit of writing on that I've started. Every document you start, it saves the position of when you turn it off. So when you turn it off again and back on again, it starts off where you finished, which is not a bad thing. So if I write so this keyboard is a little spongy, but it's okay. I mean, it's very tactile and it's nice to type on, and it's very easy to use. I mean, everything that you have on a standard word processor in modern day times is actually on the keyboard. To insert, delete, you got your layout, print, spell checker, you can plug it into a phone line, and then you can transfer your documents via a modem, and you can also use the RS-232 link to link it to a PC of the day, so a compatible PC with a serial link. Now the screen is actually not bad at all. It's got a green background, and the text is quite dark, which makes it stand out. It's still green on green, but it does stand out quite well. And it's one of these machines you could actually just about get away with. And because of its long battery life, and it's fairly lightweight, I mean it's lighter than a conventional laptop, it's not too much of a hassle to carry around. But at the same time, that this machine was kind of in production and it was going through its last kind of stages of its production run, these were starting to appear, which was a kind of a much more portable version, but that was a few years down the line. So when this machine was new, current, there wasn't much else to kind of rival it really, unless you had the Amstrad NC100, the Sinclair Z88, and maybe a couple of other luggables that were around, because you got to remember at the same time this was out, you had the Amstrad luggable, which was a huge monster of a machine and IBM compatible. See, this machine only did one thing, and it was a word processor, and that's all it ever did, and that made it ultra reliable, ultra good on batteries. And you also got quite a big manual with this. I mean, it's quite a hefty manual, and it covers everything from starting it up to laying out your documents to setting your printer up to functions to loading a directory to cut to dialing. Okay, so everything is on here, and you've even got a phone list that you can use on here to dial out and to send it to other people, plus any issues you might find with the telecom unit, with the modem, etc. And it's just a standard modem. It's 1200 baud, and you know, it would have been fast enough for the time. Now, its comprehensive documentation meant that you had to spend some time studying it or reading it to get the best out of this machine, and that's something that we're not used to today. We're used to point and click and just fumble your way around it, because documentation for products and software today, and even the hardware, is a bit thin on the ground. But overall, it's a nice machine. It does exactly what it says. There's not much more you can say about this machine, because it is a word processor and that's all it will do. It's quite a fast one, using a Z80 processor at 5.5 megahertz, you know, which you got to think that, you know, most machines at the time were 1 to 3 megahertz. So potentially this was a very, very quick machine. 32K, so it had enough memory to get you going. You know, you weren't ever going to be able to do your next huge novel on it, but it was going to get you on its way, and you could have easily split it up into a few different parts or a few different folders, just so you did actually get your entirety of the novel done. But, you know, other than that, it was of the time. So this is your Tandy portable word processor WP2. And it's something that we should keep an eye out and keep running these old machines as well, because they are losing ground to the general microcomputer out there, and they will disappear. So if you get one, keep hold of one. Okay, so I hope you'll enjoy looking at this Tandy machine, and I hope you liked looking at dedicated one job machines. And it's nice to keep these in kind of the public interest, because they kind of get forgotten, and they are a piece of history, and they are still a microcomputer, and it's nice to keep them in people's minds. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you like what you saw, so please subscribe, and we'll meet each other on this channel very shortly. Okay, thank you for watching.